Back today. We're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm a little nervous about it. I'm going to be doing charcoal today. Yeah, I'm going to be doing charcoal today, doing a sketch. I haven't really done a lot of charcoal drawing in a while, so I'm got some of my students that I'm going to be having them do charcoal drawing. I've done a demo for them, but it's kind of one of those things like you got to do it often and practice what you preach. And so I'm going to be doing some more charcoal drawing demos, and I think it's easier to set up. At least I hope. This was You guys are all guinea pigs on this, and we're just going to find out together. Um, so yeah, I appreciate those that have tuned in on the live sessions before, and even if you watch this after the fact, thanks you for the comments. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, like I said, I'll be tuning in and watching, and I'm just going to make sure that I can get the chat thing up. Sometimes YouTube's a little bit slow on that. But I'll be checking the chat. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them as best as I can. Um, Hopefully this won't be too long. This is just going to be a rough stage charcoal. I'm not looking to, how do you say, we're not fully rendering. This is just kind of like a rough, kind of like a, from my drawing group, just, like a maybe 30 minutes is what we'll try to do. I don't have room for the timer on this. If you've tuned in onto the last couple ones, you saw that I had the timer. I keep looking away because I'm trying to get the chat thing up, and it's just not cooperating with me. I don't know why. So I always try to get that going first. Um, just because when I start my chat, start the drawing, I really don't want to have to be messing around with technology. There we go. Okay. Looks like Okay, so I can see the chat now. Thanks for being patient with me. So let's go ahead. I'm going to position the camera, and hopefully this will work. So position this over where you guys can see where I'm drawing. We'll see how this goes. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. I'm gonna see if I can lock into place a little bit. Yeah, because the focusing was off. So anyways, y'all are the guinea pigs. I'll try not to hit the wire. The wire's a little bit, my phone got ran down today, so hopefully the wire is charged. So I don't want to waste too much time. Well, let's go ahead and go. So while I'm beginning, and I'm going to be coffeeed up today, so pardon the sips, and I may take a quick break to go grab some water after my coffee. But I like to use Vine, and this is actually some good paper. A lot of times when I go to my drawing group, I go to like cheap newsprint and just get a bunch of it because, it's just practice. So I like to do the Vine charcoal, and I've got a chamois. So I'll just go ahead and go over my materials here. I got a chamois. This is like the advanced auto parts chamois, and then of course your kneaded eraser. And so this got some ink on it. So we'll find out if it leaves a permanent mark. Whoops. And then I got a thicker, this is like the last of it, but I've got a thicker, uh, what's called fine charcoal. So I've got these two. They're both fine charcoal. They're just thicker. Um, as far as the brand, it's Soho from Jerry's Autorama. I think it's their brand. Oh, it's pretty good. I like it. Um, so actually, I think I'll start with this one first. So we're just going to lightly go in. And I'm just going to mark in my areas here. And already I've gone over. Oh. Ah. Yeah, it'll help a little bit. We'll smudge it a little bit. There, maybe I'll try this new. Went to this fancy restaurant that I painted, and they gave some really nice napkins. Maybe this will be better, or not. Didn't really seem to do anything. And then sometimes I use my old dependable Viva. So yeah, we'll just work at it as it goes. So I'm just trying to put some areas. I think I need to go smaller on this. So I'm going to try to put in these areas I really kind of messed up a little bit already. So I'll just try to figure that out there. Maybe that's what I was looking for. Okay. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. I haven't done charcoal. And so this ought to be a catastrophe in the making. Or not. We'll see. So I just really tried to get the dark values knocked in. So if you're asking as far as how do I make my decisions, yeah, that's it. I just look for the darker values and I try to plan out, make sure I don't overshoot my page. I'll see if I can get the hands in today. May not. We'll find out. So. And this photo was from the former app, formerly known like Prince, formerly known as Sketchy, and now it's called Museum. And people submit their photos to be drawn. So, and I've done some demo paintings from this. This is a lovely one. I'll be honest with you. I'm not, Sketchy is, or Museum I should say, is kind of seen better days. There used to be some really great photos in there. Now it's just a bunch of questionable photos that are just like selfies that are just, and with no good value shades. That's part of the reason. It's like wonderful shading over here. I really like that. So, and it was a joy to, to go there and see what people would post up and then, do drawings from those. But lately it's just been dumpster diving, trying to find anything. And so, yeah, not so great. So, hope you guys are doing good. Just make sure that this is playing good. And yeah, I think the angle on this is pretty good, I guess. I'm gonna see if I can adjust the angle, or maybe I should just leave it. I don't know. I'll see if I can. I'll just leave it because at this point it's you guys should be able to see it. I'll see if I can play around with this. You guys are guinea pigs anyways. Let's see if that makes it better. We'll see here. So, I'll just take a second. But while I'm waiting for that to show up. Yeah, that's much better. I'm just going to leave that. I'll turn off that. There we go. So, try to just put in areas, just rub things in. One of the things that I like about charcoal drawing is there's a lot of smudge, kind of like, build, destroy. And that's kind of what I like about, people ask me about my oil painting, and the fun ones that I do is really just build, destroy. And I like that. I like that a lot. But, sometimes you've got to, you got to be able to draw, and you can build, destroy. But if you can't get a good drawing, you're just making a hot mess. So, and that might be tonight. This may be a hot mess. We shall see. Maybe cross-eyed. The other things. Try not to get the eyes cross-eyed. But I may defer to. I might defer to the other smaller ones. And I'm going to scoot in a little bit here. Kind of get a little bit in there. bit of a nose. So, what else is new? I've been listening to Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" and "Shine on Your Crazy Diamond" parts. The first part and second part has been remastered, and man, I can't wait to play it on my stereo hi-fi. I've listened to it on my Apple Beats Pro, which I know some audiophiles out there will poo-poo, and that's okay. That's it sounds as if we can't all have that, $50,000 stereo system. Yeah, we can't have that. But you do you, I'll do me, and I've got I'm happy with the sound I've got so far, but I can't wait to hear it on my stereo system. And just kind of let you know, and I've mentioned this in the past with some of my other live painting sessions, if you've tuned in from the past. COVID, everybody gets a hobby when COVID came around. Everybody gets a hobby. Mine got expensive. Mine was audio, hi-fi audio, because you can't really go out and do things. So it was like, I love music. So I said, well, let me see about getting the Dream audio system. My dad used to have a really nice stereo system, and when he wasn't at work, I'd go blast Def Leppard and all the other Van Halen and whatnot. And I guess it didn't blow out his speakers because he never complained about it, so which is always good, because you don't want to blow out your parents' stereo system. But yeah, I used to blast that, and the neighbors luckily complained. But yeah, it was a nice stereo system, and I played the heck out of it. And now I'm lucky to have a stereo system of my own, and most of it is vintage 70s, like almost most of it. Yeah, most of it. So I got, if you guys are into stereos at all, I've got the Bose 901s Series 2, and if you know anything about those are the ones, the last ones before they went to, they have fabric on the speakers, so the fabric doesn't wear out, whereas the later years they went and put, I think 73 is when they started to put the foam, and nothing wrong with that performance-wise. It just means that after some years, and being that those speakers are almost as old as I am now, those speakers, you need to refoam them. And so when I saw a pair of Series 2 for sale, like super dirt cheap, I was like, yep, say less. And I went out there, and I had sold the painting, and I went out, and it wasn't that far. It was only about maybe 30 minutes away, and I bought them. And of course, the EQ had to be redone, recapped, because the EQ was kind of shot, which is too, it is what it is. But luckily, in Williamsburg, there's this place called Action Electronics, and Bob is the best. So shout out to Bob at Action Electronics. Bob has been in business since 1971 in Williamsburg, and if you have a vintage stereo, he is the man to fix it. Or he'll tell you it's not worth fixing. He's such a sweet guy. And he really helped me out with another purchase that I got. I got a Sansui reverb, and I bought it from an imbecile who did not pack it with any foam and just double boxed it. And what do you think happened when I got it? That's right, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. The lights cut on, but nothing happened. And they said, oh, well, it's barely noticeable, and I'm like, man, I know what I'm talking about. And the guy was, what I didn't know, and Bob was really nice about it. I don't know why I didn't know this, but I haven't really bought anything on eBay in a while, or at least had have a bad experience on eBay. And he's like, yeah, if it's not as described, you can return it. And they can, even if they say no returns, you just have to go through a eBay dispute, and that's exactly what I did, and I did get refunded. And yeah, it was frustrating because how do you say, it was time and effort to go see Bob and say, hey, can you repair this? And he's like, yeah, that's not worth repairing, buddy. So he said, just return it, and he was right. I did. I got my money back, and I got my money back on it, and I found another one, and it was actually being sold from Richmond. So and he had better reviews, and I don't know why, but this other person had good reviews too. But I should have done. I think it was an impulse buy. And it was late at night, and I should have done better research because I would have found out they had never really sold any hi-fi audio equipment before, and that was my undoing. But I did get my money back, so I can't complain. But yeah, it was frustrating. So oh, you know. But once I did get the one from Richmond, which it sounded fantastic. Everything that I hoped for as far as because my computer I had a sound emulator for the for Reverb Hall, and yeah, it sounded great. It sounded everything like I wanted it to sound from as far as that reverb echo, kind of give you like that concert hall sound, like you're listening to something in a concert. And so then that's I think what the popularity was on these back in the day, was that concert hall experience. And yeah, so that's what I've got. I got a reverb, I got 901s, I got a JVC stereo. It's nothing. It really is not much. I just love the design of the interface. It's not really worth more than like $100 or $200, really. But it's I love the design, and it passes through. It passes through the audio really good, and it's quadro, which is awesome. So if you're not familiar with, not quadro, but quad stereo, so that means you can hook up 4 speakers, front and back, left and right, and yeah, they sound wonderful, and it's kind of what I've got set up now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a great experience. It's fun to watch movies and stuff like that. And of course, listening to classic albums. I've got a record player. It's a Hitachi from the 70s, and that one Bob had to work hard on to get running. But it's a fully automatic record player, so it'll do the auto return, which is also nice. It'll bring the arm back. And so for those that are familiar with stereos, you know what I'm talking about. And I think I really should have pushed up the eyes. And I've done all this work on the eyes and the noses so much. So what can we do? We make the eyes smaller, the nose smaller. Let's try and make the nose a little bit smaller. See if I can get away with this. It's a little bit better. I wonder if I should just push the eyes up. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, build, destroy, build, destroy. You drew it once, you can draw it again. Yeah, we're going to just lift the eyes up a little bit. And I think that's where we'll put it, right there. Sometimes I get involved running my mouth, not paying attention to what I'm drawing. So, you know, but we'll see how that goes. And maybe I should switch over to the other vine. I don't know. See how this goes here. This one's a little bit darker, but maybe it'll give me a little bit more control that I'm looking for here. And I'm going to reach over and turn off my heater because it is blasting. Which I can't complain because the other night I was freezing. I did not feel very good. So my ending was kind of abrupt. I was like, I'm cold, I'm miserable, I need to get out, I need to go back into, even though I had the heater on, it was just, I think it was just me, but the heater is usually pretty good, but today, not much better. And so we'll go ahead and raise this up a little bit. So yeah, we'll just put it in here. I think this is actually a better one here, so more forgiving on this particular kind of paper, and it's darker. Well, we'll see. Feels like it might be. There we go. Hopefully the battery doesn't die on me here, but yeah, we'll see. Try to get this right. I gotta push that eyebrow up higher. It's higher. It needs to be much higher than where it is. There we go. Probably same for this one. This one's got to go higher. I think the dip here is off. So, a little eyelet right there. Let's see here. We'll see how this goes here. If I've got the eyes right, I think the eye here is wrong. So see if I can fill it out a little bit more there. And then here needs to fill out a little bit more. Eyes are the hardest thing for, I think, like for me. It's like if I'm not happy with the eyes, I'll obsess over it until I get it right. And it can be maddening, to say the least. Maddening indeed. Well, we shall see here how it goes. So yeah, I've been listening to Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here," and I really enjoy it so far. The stereo version. They haven't fully released it yet, so it's like they're just teasing parts of it out, and every part I've heard so far is really amazing. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. Those eyes are not right. I think it was on to something and then it just fell apart. but that's drawing for you. And the same thing here for going live. Okay, there's got this eye has to round out a little bit more. There. I'm gonna float around because sometimes you have, I tell my students this is something's not working. Float around a little bit, and maybe it'll come to you. Sometimes you just can't get it right, and it's frustrating to say the least when you can't get it right. And that's what I like about the kneaded eraser too, is that I'm gonna smudge out the eye, make sure that it's fitting right. Working the areas. I'm probably still obsessing over this a little bit more than I'd like, but I figure if I can get one eye right, then I can work on the other. There. That feels like it's in the right place. And we're going to work on the lips a little bit. Yeah, work on the lips a little bit, try to get that soft feeling. You ever watch, or not watch, you ever see like if you're lucky enough to see a John Singer Sargent charcoal or pencil in person? You haven't? Oh my God. Or is Andrew Zorn. I haven't seen Andrew Zorn in person. I have seen a Sargent. And oh my God. It's something to behold, to see that, and the mastery of which he had of charcoal. It just blows me away. I'm just like, how does he do that? And if you haven't followed or really learned about him, one of the things that's really amazing about John Singer Sargent is he really got tired of painting the upper class, the social elite portraits, and he was, because for the social, for the socially elite, it was a status symbol. I mean, that's like rock star. I got a John Singer Sargent portrait of me, moi, and he would just rather go paint whatever he wanted to, and that's my goal, is to be able to paint whatever I want to, or draw. That's what I aspire to, is not to be able to paint whatever my heart's content is, and not have someone train wreck it. It's kind of why I got out of the ad agencies. I got tired of clients just like totally just destroying good work, good design, and it was so frustrating for me to listen to these people. I mean, would you tell a heart surgeon, hey, you know what, I think you should do this? That's, you go to school, you work hard on your craft, and the last thing you want to hear is somebody telling you what to do. Now, if you're in commercial art, the client's always right to some degree if you can convince them. But for me, I think, and this is just for me and my personality. I'm not trying to poo-poo for those that do commercial art, but for me, I found out I'm not that person. That's ultimately what it came down to, is I'm not that person. I'm not that person, or if I do stuff, I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it great. And if you give me a suggestion to ruin it, my work, or to cheapen it, I'm not going to like it. And I'm going to hate the job. And that's ultimately what kind of happened. I started hating the jobs. Anybody out there done commercial art, you know what I'm talking about. I call them risk jockeys. And these would be the people that would, I don't know what it is. They want to be involved in the process and they feel helpless and they just want to be, they're kind of, I call them risk jockeys because they feel like they're not content until they tell you to do something, no matter how stupid it is, just because they can then tell somebody, oh, I had a hand in this decision. And I mean, it's one thing if you're paying the client, I get it, and there's certain things that the artist is getting right, but I just felt like for what I was doing, I knew how to make the product the best, and I got tired of, I mean, it's one thing if they have a valid, how do you say, request. I get that. I mean, not like totally like, hard headed, but I get just the stupidest things. Like, hey, can we, for anybody who's a designer out there that's listening to this now or later, I get some, hey, can we put Comic Sans or can we put papyrus font on that? No, you can't. No. And that's the kind of stuff that they would do. And it just, or they would demand stuff overnight. Like I had somebody who came to me on a Friday night. On a Friday night, they came to me. Like, on a Friday night, I mean like at 11 o'clock at night, and asking for a full-on digital illustration due by Monday morning, not Monday afternoon, but due by Monday morning. And they, because the designer had been playing around with AI, they'd been playing around with AI, and they couldn't get, the client wasn't happy with it. Shocking, totally shocking. Really? Well, maybe because if the designer learned how to draw, maybe they could do some of that, or at least get something. But I just, unfortunately, there's a lot of designers out there that just don't draw, and it's, you should know how to draw, and they don't. But what was killed me was like they want this, and they want this job, and then they wanted it for just like a couple $100. Now, mind you, the client raked in their client raked in $2 billion last year. $2 billion. Your client has made $2 billion. And you're going to want the job for a couple $100? Yeah, that's just not realistic. You get what you pay for. And, I'm on my griping mode today. So I'm a little cranky, but that's okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this so far. It's not perfect, but it's practice. Okay, that's all. I'm just practicing here, and this is not right here, so we're gonna fix that there. Yeah, so you get what you pay for, and if you can't draw, then it's okay. Not everybody can draw. Drawing's not easy, but I got out of commercial art because of the fact that people wanted to feel like they had a hand in it. Would you tell Bob Dylan how to write a song, or hey, can you put some lyrics in All Around the World Watchtower? Can you change those lyrics of to All Around the Watchtower? Could you please? You know, I think it might be better this way. Um, yeah, no. So yeah, that's me. You know, I'm just not a good fit for that anymore. This is why I like Viva because it does a nice job of smoothing. I mean, I have the chamois here too, and it does a good job. But sometimes gets to be a little bit dirty there. So, and it needs a little bit of. It's too dark here. So let's see if we can smooth that out a little bit. And let's go over here. This eye's too big. This eye's too big. So we're gonna try to get it. If you've been watching me, or if you were rewatching this from the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. Ooh, that didn't go. That didn't work out. Let's try this here. Let's make a little bit of incision here. I know you're like, Doug, you're making it worse. Yes, I know. But I'm going to try and fix it. There. Try and get the eye shape here correct. There. And then we'll just try to shape it up a little bit more here. And it comes down there. Let's see if that works a little bit. Go a little bit closer here. Okay, and the lid comes up more. There. It's a little bit better. A little bit. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of smudge here. And I'm going to soften this up a little bit. And here. Lips go a little bit more pronounced if I can get it without overdoing it. There. I think that's interesting. That'll work. Let's see if I can get this to come out a little bit. Any questions? If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I don't have my readers on. Serge. Yeah, thank you, Serge. I appreciate the feedback. I haven't done charcoal on YouTube, and I'm a little nervous, so please bear in mind. And I've been ranting a little bit. I've been a little surly tonight. But, yeah, I still, not good. Not good. I need to course correct. I know what it is. The eye needs to go over here. I've been walking it over too far. It's the shape of the eye. The pupil needs to be about here. That shape of the pupil is what I got wrong. Let me see if I can get the shape. The shape of the eye is everything. If you can't get it, then all is lost. You ever watch that movie, All Is Lost, Robert Redford? I'll tell you this, the soundtrack is amazing. The movie, not so much. I could get into it, but I'm not sure you want to hear about all my sailing gripes with that. All you need to know is that I don't think Robert Redford has ever sailed in his life. And whoever he had as the technical advisor hasn't really sailed either. Because what the character did in the movie was just no. There's just like, there's just some things in there you're like, you must be kidding me. I don't even own a sailboat, but my dad is, has my dad's side of the family, that's their life, was sailing. And so, I just know from personal experience, I've never owned a boat, but, I'll just tell you that, growing up around boats, there were certain things that I saw in that movie that just like made me cringe. And I told my dad, I said, don't watch it because you're just going to cringe. Okay, I think that's still not right. We're going to try and shape that eye. I've been battling the eye for a while now, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sometimes you got to build and destroy and just get the basic shape of where it is and try and flesh it out. I'm sitting down, and that's probably part of the problem, because I usually, when I'm doing this in figure drawing group, I'm standing, and I like to step up and step away, which is really the best. So I think I'm getting there. I think I'm slowly onto something, I hope. It's just shaping the eye lid around it. The lid has got everything to do with it. And then having the eye in the right position, or the iris, I should say, is in the right position. I don't think I was too far off, but it was enough to make me not happy. It was definitely enough to not make me happy about it. So. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But I'm just working in charcoal today and trying to warm up a little bit. Really, that's all I'm trying to do is warm up. I should paint fast and loose, but this is just, she's just too pretty to want to not do this justice. You definitely want to do this kind of drawing justice. And I gotta go darker here, so let's go ahead and do that. I've done a painting of this, but I've never done a charcoal drawing of this one, so. And I don't know, it just feels radically different. But then again, you can't always hit home runs, and maybe that's just it. I'm just in a difficult mood today. Let's see here. You know, Serge. Well, as far as tracing, I mean, it's a great way to, practice at the beginning. But like flying, or riding a bike, it's good as training wheels. But at some point, you gotta let go and just, try to do your best um, for do your best and just draw, just make beautiful disasters, just like painting, just go in there and do as best you can. I mean, that's really all you can ask for. It's just to try, you know. I mean, I guess the same thing could be said about singing too, but I don't sing well. So I feel like I'm better at drawing and painting than I am at singing. Well, I think most people would agree with me on that. Let's see if I can get the smudge this a little bit. So I'm trying to shape this and it's not coming out as well as I'd like, but it's getting there. Pull this out just a little bit more here. Yeah, she's got more rounded lips than I'm not doing her justice on that. There, that's a little bit better. Now, when I do lips, I really think about George Bridgman and, the examples he has, as well as, of course, Sargent's examples. All right, I feel like I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. Okay, we need to go higher up. I think this was my undoing last time, but I'll try to not mess this one up. So I think this kind of goes down. This goes here. Yeah, it's getting there. I feel like this eye's on, but this one, maybe it does need to go higher. Maybe that's the problem. It just needs to go higher. And I just need to go higher up here. And I'm just not listening to what's going on. Yeah, I think that's it. It just needs to go higher. I'm not listening. Yeah. All right. Make some surgery here. Okay, make a little bit of an incision here. Feel like a surgeon incision. Hilarious. I think nobody wants me to be performing surgery on them. There we go. Just try to kind of fill this in a little bit. It's too sharp of a line. You need to go more out here. Yeah. Try to. There, that's a little bit better. So. Thank you, Unstable. I feel unstable. That's nervous. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I appreciate it. I'm going to try to see about getting everything correct here. And this eye has been troubling me, something fierce, and it's been the battle all day, or not all day. I sound like I've been here all day. It feels like that, but no, this is the one that's the one that's been getting away from me, and I should just feel like I'm not getting it. I think I had it and I lost it. It's the battle to get it back, because that's the one thing I truly believe. If I drew it once, I can draw it again. I just have to be persistent at it. All right, so I'm gonna try to put the light right there, and then we'll do a little one here. And try to course correct that a little bit. And that usually helps me, that highlight, figure out where to put the shape of the eye. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. All right, let's float around a little bit. I think this is getting to be my Moby Dick, or Cap Mayhab. I just can't seem to get it right, but we'll see. Maybe. No bueno. It's the shape of the eye that's getting me, I can't seem to figure it out. We'll work elsewhere for right now. Sometimes it just needs to build and destroy a little bit. And you know what? This eyebrow needs to come. Need to kind of come in here a little bit. feels like there's a little bit of a dip here. And then it goes up. But I'm going to work on the other stages here because it's probably just my nerves, really, you know, with this. I'm actually step back because I just feel like if I step back, I'm going to see what I'm missing all along. Yeah, the eye needs to go up. I've been working with him. Yeah, so sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen is that eye needs to go up more. It's just down. And that's kind of what has been bugging me is just that the eye's been too high. And I've just been too close to really see it for what it really is. It's too high. And now I've just got to push it up. So I love the kneaded eraser because it allows you to push things that you need to. So yeah. All right, let's drop a little highlight to see if the mark's on. Because if that's on, then I can work with that. Okay, I feel like that's better. But I said that earlier, and you know, and I start, freaking out. It's wrong. So let's go ahead and make this darker too. So we're gonna do that too because it really does need to go darker. Try to get the right values. And her hair comes in that sharp eyebrows. Of course, this gets darker here, so let's get that eye to really have some depth. That's the trick. Is to get it to feel like this. It has volume, mass, shape. So let's see here. Okay. And we'll bring this a little bit. Nose probably could have came out, and then mouth maybe more. Maybe that's part of it. But let's see if I can work this back. That's feeling better. I'm not having the heebie-jeebies like I was before. Kind of feels pretty good. So maybe I can then work on the hand a little bit. Let's go to different here, and we'll just try to get the feel of this. Try to go back and get the looseness of it that I went in here tight and just got way over my head. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the vine, the smaller one. I want to kind of that. And let's see if we can get a nice lip highlight here. So let's see if we can kind of push that a little bit. We'll see. Okay. And then there's a little bit of a nose to right there. Really try to get the shadows on the nostrils here to kind of give it some volume. It's feeling a little bit better. And sometimes I use a Q-tip to smudge, but I don't have any in my arsenal right now. This needs to be lightened up a little bit, and then a highlight right here. Too much down here. So let's see if I can get it to work. All right, I feel a little bit better about that. Let's go ahead and try and shape the face a little bit. She's got some really nice jawline, really well defined, very nice. Of course, some shadows here. I don't understand why women who have really nice, beautiful eyebrows go and trim the living snot out of them. They're just beautiful eyebrows and eyes, and it just good. It frames so nicely. Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's see here. And then that's works. And then let's pull out the chin a little bit. Try to get the chin out a little bit if I can. There we go. Splash around there a little bit. Yeah. Now I'm going to do something that's not in the foot. I'm going to pull a little bit out at the bottom here. Just a little bit to help give a depth there. So, all right. Let's go back and add some more hair. So, if you're just doing it again, this is my first charcoal. I don't think I've done charcoal on YouTube before. It's maybe why I'm really nervous about this. And, you know, I've gotten all worked up about getting the eyes right. You know, over obsessing is really what I've been doing, but, you know, rightfully so. I couldn't get the eye right to save my life. And probably still could use some work, but, you know, I feel like it is better than where it was. Where it was before, it was pretty atrocious. Yes, wonderful curly hair. So, and my phone hasn't died yet, so we're a bit an hour into this. That's way more time than I wanted to devote to it, but you know, we'll just try to do the hands. At least insinuate the hands. How about that? Can we live with that? At least let me try to do the hands without butchering them. Is that possible? Drawing gods? Drawing gods like there's gods of drawing. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm hoping they're not too small. Maybe it is. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. I'm sure that hand is going to be too small. I feel like that hand could be bigger, but we'll see. This is where I'm trying to frame everything, make it look nice. And let's try to use the shimmer to smooth this out a little bit. Maybe it'll be too much. All right, let's try to get the shimmer to be cloth here. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. Bad idea, in my opinion. So let's get the want this to feel like fabric. So I'm trying not to overdo it, but we shall see. No, I know I'm getting quiet. That's just because I'm just really have had a long day. Been teaching all day long and had an evening class, and evening class was not as productive as I would have liked. But what can you do? What can you do? Not much. So come home, try to make some good paintings, have a valiant effort. Like, yeah, just trying to do good work, improve, keep developing. You know, that's really it. It's just keep developing the work as best you can, really. And that's all you can do. Now we're gonna this needed erasers fun. Ooh, how did I end up with that? That's weird. These two spots, I just noticed that now. I'll try to shade here a little bit, finger, and then try to go here and then come back in with a hot eraser, so to speak. There. And then have a sharp line come down here. And come in here. And that's already there. That's established. And then I think the lips are about all I can do there. See if I can go back in and clean that up. Just get it about as hot as I can. Alright. And that chin's got to be darker. Where's my other? Hey, I'm losing stuff. Like this. It's a problem. I set down stuff and it rolled away. I had another one of these and I don't know what happened to it. So I break it off in two. And let's see here, I'm not gonna try to define the, she has just like a regular collar shirt and I don't think the lines are good with it, so we're gonna just try to insinuate a little bit of a clavicle. And then this is where we make stuff up. Yeah. Pretty much right there. Alright. Let's see if I can touch up here to the edge. Get a little bit of the lost and found edges here. And she has this thing, but she has this thing in the middle, and I don't know if it's going to translate. And honestly, I don't know if I want to mess with it. I do want to get this finger in before I call it a night, but I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Let's just see. We'll just see what I can get. But I'm not. This is a hard one. I've done it in painting, and it doesn't always turn out good. So that's why I'm here practicing. It's just to, try to get a good hand. And being able to draw a good hand and a finger, you know. Let's see if we can get the gap here. There. This one goes a little higher. I think if I can insinuate the hand and it's right, I might be able to get away with this, but if it's not, then I'm in trouble. That's the thing. It's like I don't want to do a dookie hand, if you will, as my kids would say. Don't want to do a poor job. All right, let's see if I can get that hand to work a little bit more. Okay, maybe I can shape this. Where's my other? Oh, it's in my hand. There we go. Okay, there needs to be a little bit more thickness, but maybe we can get it on this side for the shade. There. Yeah, this is the tough part here. This has to come out more, so let's make it come out more. And it's got the fingernail. She's got pink fingernails. See if I can get that to pop without making it look artificial. That is the trick of the day. Let's put a highlight here. Okay. So and I really should have drugged this over here. This paper's not bad, but it doesn't always pull away hard, pull away everything. So, I am having a little bit of trouble with that, but it is what it is. Let's see here. I gotta narrow that finger down there. It's a little bit better. trying to make good observations. Yeah. Yep. Trying to look at the negative reverse space to help shape that hand where the finger comes in. It's got to cut just a little bit like that. There. And then here. It's 12 o'clock, I bet, because I just think I heard the, no, it's not 12 o'clock yet. But it's getting there, and I'm trying to get this done here, so as best as I can. And do better than the last time I painted this hand. It was not good. All right. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this hand to, disappear. We'll see. I haven't figured that out yet. Disappear. Made it sound like I was going to unalive the hand. Fun. Yeah, I don't like smudging too much on this, but I feel like it's necessary just to kind of get a little bit of an even tone before I try to clean up the knuckle. Yeah. And the knuckle here, which goes to here. And this knuckle here. And try to you ever see those artists that can really do expressive hands? I'm so envious of that. And of course, Sargent is definitely one of those. So, hence why I'm here doing streaming, because it forces me to draw. Forces me to draw. Let's see if I can do the highlight. And then there's another one here. And then another one here. It's like all these folds that are coming out. I'm trying to get it to look like it's mass and not just like random lines. Oh, the irony of it all. Just trying to make lines to give an illusion. That's all I'm trying to do. That's it. I'm just trying to get lines to give an illusion. It's magic. And some people are better at magic tricks than others. In this case, this is definitely a struggle bus. I don't even know how long I've put into this, but I'll imagine that it'll probably be longer than I anticipated. And mostly because of this eye here. If I could just get it to, I feel like, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe a little bit. I gotta creep up that eye highlight on the lid. I think right here. There. So let's see if I can delicately pull this out a little bit. And then maybe pull this a little bit. There's too much. No. And this is too dark, so let's go ahead and knock it back a little bit. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Work the sharpness of that there. Maybe that's it. I don't know, folks. We're just at the tail end of this. It's been a struggle bus for sure for me. And I'm hoping I can give some volume to this. Yeah, I'm running out of steam because I can't talk. It's like, oh. Let's see if I can kind of insinuate some of the fabric here. And patterns usually help, especially when I can't seem to define it myself. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. Yeah. I definitely have run out of steam on this. I feel pretty wiped out. But let me just make sure that I'm still playing. Yeah. Let's see here. I just feel like so I want to have that nice, beautiful fade. Hands that just disappear into the white of the paper. And I've got to get this first. And do, 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 do. And then if I could just shape that knuckle around there, come on. Shape that knuckle around. I can just get it to pop a little bit. Just a little bit, come on. Of course, this knuckle isn't right either. That's right there, but then it's so many little things, and they're nuanced too, because if you don't get it just right, it falls apart. It just falls apart. Okay. That nail does not go that long, so we're gonna make it foreshorten it a little bit. If I could just walk it back just a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's so strenuous. And this has to come in. This has to come in here. It's too short. Let's go back. Yeah. And then we'll go and pull this back out. And go in here. And just work this knuckle a little bit more. There. And this comes down here. And if I can get it to push through. And then here too. And do. Yeah. All right. Let's see if I get the hair to kind of end up here and just try to make. We'll do the hair here and hopefully make this work a little bit. huge mess or not. But I'm going to call it quits. So. Just a little bit. Yeah. All of this stuff here is just kind of, fun, but, I think what I like about a good charcoal is that there's this nice entrance. It's not closed off. Now, I might want to do the dark background thing like Sargent, but I'm out of time for my brain. My brain is screaming to go to bed. So, unfortunately it's screaming for me to go to bed, and I'm going to listen to it this time. So, I'm not gonna sign it. I'm just gonna close this off here. But let's zoom in real quick and just take a look at the work that was here. Whoops, sorry guys. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. There's the hands. I'd probably use some more work, but I just have to stop. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you like this drawing and my ramblings, please go to my website, liquidmethod.com, sign up for my mailing list. That's where you get to see all my latest work, shows, sales, all the things that I do. That's where I go. I share all my new stuff. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back hopefully soon. So thank you again, and have a great night. Bye.